Welcome, Don Giannetti. One of my Project 52 students asked a very good question about going on location to do a portrait, specifically to do a portrait, and not having any idea what you're going to do. In other words, you've been called by a client. They need you to come out and do a portrait of an executive or an editorial portrait for a magazine, for an advertisement. You want to be ready for this. Always want to be ready for quoting this. So you've got your numbers already in front of you. You know what a makeup artist is going to charge you in your area. You know what a wardrobe person is going to charge you. You know what an assistant is going to be, et cetera, et cetera. So you've got those numbers. So putting that bid together is going to be a little bit tricky, but you still have the numbers in front of you to make that bid work. And if you don't have them in front of you now, get them. Just call them up. Call the makeup artist up. What do you charge a day? What do you charge for a half day? Blah, blah, blah. Get all the numbers down so that you can think it through. The client is going to give you a really good, solid idea of what their budget is and whether they want to afford or have you spend money on wardrobe, because anything you spend is reimbursable. You've got to clear it with the client, obviously. But we get to the real challenge is, what are we going to do when we get there? And one of the things that's very important is you've been hired to make that photograph based on your portfolio. So if your portfolio is all natural light with fill cards, you may be jumping in wrong if all of a sudden you go, well, I got a real job. I'm going to pack up the truck with speedlights or strobes or what have you. If you're being hired based on what you're showing, that's the kind of shot that they want to get. Unless otherwise mentioned by them. Does that happen? Yeah, it happens. So you've got to nail it down with your client exactly what it is that they want. I have a bit of a three-case scenario for going out on gigs unprepared without a layout, without meeting the person, or et cetera. I'm just going to show up at 2 o'clock and I have to do the shot. So I have kind of a how much time do I get scenario and how much money's in the budget scenario for that. So if I don't have very much time, I know that I have to be as light as possible. I'll take two lights, 2 booms on C-stands, 4 additional stands, tripod, 2 medium and 1 large Octabox, a shower curtain scrim with my holders for it, a background stand, a couple of Profoto 600 watt second units, 4 Speedlights, gels for color correction, not necessarily blues or greens, but color correction gels, a couple of grids, a couple of barn doors, and assorted reflectors. I also have an umbrella bag that's got 260s, 243s, a zebra umbrella, and 224s. So that's all in one bag, the umbrella bag. So with that gear, I can generally pull off any kind of shot that I need to do, from corporate headshots to creative editorial photography. If it's going to be a full day of photography and it's going to range, I'm going to be doing some portraits in the morning, I'm going to be doing people working in the afternoon, then later in the day I might be in a science lab or in a computer room. I'm going to take all of that stuff I just mentioned, and it's down in the descriptions down there, all the stuff. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to add to it 2 additional booms, a small and a medium, and a little small boom about yay big that works out very well for little cramped areas. 4 additional stands, a large softbox, a small softbox, my kit box, which used to be 1 and now is 2 big Home Depot toolkits. And in those toolkits, I have everything from gaffer's tape, black, white, and gray. I have clamps of every kind, matches, candles, snake bite kit. It's Arizona. And so needles and threads. I mean, it's everything that I've ever needed. If I ever needed it on a job, I added it to the kit. So I've got pliers and all kinds of stuff. But both of those go because I don't know what the day is going to bring. A small folding table, like a card table, goes in right in the back of the shooting van. And a couple of camp chairs. That's very important because sometimes you're stuck somewhere and there's no place to sit down. And I like to sit down now and then, so I got a couple of these fold-up camp chairs that work out pretty well. They also work out for posing chairs too, because they're kind of low. So a person can sit down, put their hands on their knees. Works out very well. 2 additional Profotos, my Dynalite 1200 watt second pack and head, a bunch of reflectors and holders, extra batteries, cables, cords, redundant. Everything you have when you go on location is redundant. It's got to have 2 of everything, sometimes 3 of everything. I have a battery box that's just full of the different kinds of batteries I need, from batteries that go in the triggers, batteries that go in the speedlights, batteries that go in the cameras, batteries that go any type of battery. I've got redundant batteries. If I haven't been able to scout, level 3. Level 3 is when we know exactly what we're going to do and we bring the gear to do what we need to do. That may mean less gear than I normally travel with, more gear, rented gear. We may need, ladders. I do carry a short 3-step ladder with me always, so I can get up to shoot down. It's one of those big wide ones, so you don't feel like you're gonna fall over. You want to get a good, like, painter's 3-level stuff. That always goes with me for getting up and down. It's just loaded in the car. As a pair of wheels, one of those short, I don't know what you call them. It's the little thing that comes down, got some wheels, you can stack your gear on it, pull it in. That type of stuff, rope, all of that stuff. So level 3 is we've gone through it with the art director, and we know what we're going to bring, and we bring that gear. When you don't know what you're walking into, you must get there early. And so sometimes you have, an hour to do the shot. Sometimes you have 3 minutes to do the shot. So you're set up when the person comes in. You have an assistant with you. I would never do one of these shots without an assistant, folks. Just don't do it. Get an assistant. You just make sure it's in the budget. And when I say make sure it's in the budget, it's not a question of can you go do this by yourself. You don't want to go do this by yourself. You really don't. You want to have somebody with you. Even if that somebody may be from the agency. If that's need be, that's fine. Someone's got to stand in while you set this stuff up. Check everything. Check the lights, the batteries, blah, blah, on and on and on. Check it all and get it going. But walking into a portrait situation blind can be real scary. And having stuff left at home doesn't count. It's just not going to make your life better. It's not going to make the image better. And it's not going to make your relationship with the client any better. I see too many photographers, both on Project 52 and other places, who only go 60% or 70% on the shot. If you're going to do a shot of somebody and you stand them out in a field, backlit with no front light on them, that's the shot you're going to get. Is that the shot you wanted? Because in many cases, it probably isn't. Don't tell me you can fix it in Photoshop. I know you can. I know you can do tremendous work in Lightroom. I do tremendous work in Lightroom. We all do. But that's not the point. The point is not what you can get away from. The point is what can you deliver? Because in the advertising commercial world, lots of times you're delivering the files out of the camera. And if they're crappy files because you thought, I could fix it later, it's not going to help you. It's not going to help you at all. So you have to present the best work you can. Take the gear you need. Take fill boards, take extra stands, take the reflector holders, whatever you need to make the shot. And please Don't think that you can take the shot as often as you can make the shot. There's a big, big difference between taking it and making it. And in our business, commercial photography, we have to make more photographs than we actually take. It's very rare that all the planets align and the light's perfect and you don't need to bring a fill card or a strobe or a reflector or a scrim. Very rare that that happens. Damn rare. So be really, really careful with it. If you can scout the location, build for it. If you can't, be prepared for every and any possibility. Hope that helps out there, Karen. And I will see you all next time.